There were women rappers out when Nicki was out. Y'all just didn't care about them. Talk about it. Talk about it.
I'm trying to get that dough. Every day is another struggle. This is my life. So what if my plans say no? Just sit back.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are reacting to were labels really offering female rappers deals if they diss Nicki Minaj. Now that has been the consensus, I should say, for the past 5 years, 4 to 5 years, something like that. I know when Lady LaSure had came out back then and said that she was offered money to diss Nicki and to go against the grain, and she was like, no. She was like, nah, absolutely not. I believe there were several female rappers. They probably not gonna say nothing. They probably not gonna come out and say, but I believe that there were several female rappers that were asked to diss Nicki that never actually did it. But Nicki has already spoke about this. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully you stay to the end. And let's get into it.
Yup. You know, that's just my opinion. Everybody got an opinion. Everybody got something to say.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, today I'm going to be speaking on something that I've never fully spoken on before. I've spoken on it briefly in the past, but I've never done a full video on it, so here we are. So, the short answer is yes, certain labels would get in touch with female rappers and offer them money or a record deal, but for them to get it they would have to go at Nicki Minaj, whether that be a diss record or going off at her on the internet. Multiple female rappers have come forward and said that they have had people approach them, but honestly they didn't need to come forward for us to believe it. We always knew this was happening, so let's get into it. So the reason why I said we didn't need anybody coming forward in order for us to believe this, is because of Nicki's success. Nicki created a lane for herself and it's gotten her so far and made her this massive superstar. There hasn't been a female rapper that has taken it places like Nicki has, so of course other labels wanted their own Nicki Minaj. They wanted other rappers to have that same journey. You have to really think about it. Nicki took it to another level, so we can't blame labels for wanting that for their own artists. But, trying to push them through by dissing Nicki Minaj wasn't the way to go. It's quite sad that labels were giving girls chances not for their talent, but to be pawns in an attempt to get rid of Nicki Minaj. There has always been a smaller number of female rappers in rap compared to the guys, so labels should have been signing lots of girls, but instead they were only willing to sign girls if they would go at Nicki. So it's no surprise that labels would want to duplicate the success of Nicki onto their own artists, but it doesn't work like that. The reason why Nicki made it so big and still so big today is because everything was organic. She got herself a fan base. We saw her come up and she was very inspiring. Nicki really went from 0 to 100 quickly because of her talent and personality. You can't buy those things. You have to remember Nicki was selling mixtapes out of a trunk. She really started from the bottom. She wasn't on no reality show, nor did she have platforms like Instagram and TikTok. Nowadays no one cares about talent. You can become famous overnight. It's so easy to share your music now and it's sort of watered down the music industry. But back to what I was saying. Nicki made it so far because of her talent, her hunger, her writing, her personality. People saw potential in her and knew she would go places, and she did exactly that. Nicki didn't get signed to take anyone down and didn't take money to diss anyone. She was signed because of her talent. Whereas labels wanted to find female rappers who would go at Nicki, but we all know how that ended. LOL, look at what happened to Remy Ma. Sheether might have been a moment for a minute, but Nicki is still here today on top charting and breaking records. I can't say the same about Remy Ma. If anything, Remy's career has not been the same since Sheether. People say the same thing about Nicki, but since Sheether, Nicki has had a #2 album on Billboard, 2 #1s, a huge number of other entries on Billboard. The list is endless. Nicki is still breaking records. Whereas Remy had her 5 minutes of fun and is now known for being the girl who dissed Nicki Minaj. So dissing Nicki might give you 5 minutes in the spotlight, but shortly after, it's over for you. Now, before I speak on the artists who have spoken out, I just want to play a clip from Azealia Banks. Azealia might not be everyone's favorite person, and we all know that she can be very controversial. But a lot of the time the girl spills. A lot of things she says are facts, and there's something she said in 2019 that I think is just spot on. A lot of people would have already seen this, but if you haven't, then please take a look at this.
Last year you had a thing, or is it an issue against Cardi B?
My theory is that Nicki Minaj for a very long time has had like complete market share of the female rap, and for a very long time these other music industry execs have been trying to push their female rap products through. You know, you saw Iggy Azalea, you saw like all these other girls, and Nicki Minaj was just not letting these other corporate white guys get a piece of her fucking pie. So they made Cardi B and launched her. It's not a theory, it's the truth. They made her and launched her on Nicki, and that's just because of this greater white male like corporate part to the fucking music industry that's just not gonna they're just not gonna let a black girl have any sort of like power. You know, Nicki had too much like the power, the female rap power was too centralized in one spot. They had to launch something on her to break that shit up. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
That's what they did.
Banks.
And that's exactly what I've been saying. Record labels wanted Nicki gone, so they were offering female rappers chances to go at Nicki in exchange for a record deal. Azealia was right, Nicki wasn't letting anyone ruin her run. People love to say, Nicki stopped other female rappers from winning when in reality no one could mess with her. But I just can't stress this enough. Whenever I see people tweet, oh, Nicki Minaj wasn't letting any...
Talk about it though. Like, there were women rappers out when Nicki was out. Y'all just didn't care about them. Talk about it. Talk about it. Y'all didn't care about him. Y'all didn't care about the female rappers. You had Young M.A., Dej Loaf. You had, I think Rhapsody has been out for quite some time now. You had Iggy Azalea, Azealia Banks. There were women rappers. Let's not act like they weren't. It's not Nicki's fault that she was just killing shit. So for people to say that, oh, you know, only reason why she was built up to be the way she was because she was the only one. No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't. Y'all didn't pay attention to those other female rappers. That's the gag.
Any other female rappers win. I don't get the thought process behind that. If you're saying that Nicki's success was so big and no other artists could compete, then just say that. Nicki wasn't stopping anyone. At the end of the day, it's not Nicki's job to help out others or put other female rappers on. And it's not Nicki's fault y'all weren't supporting other female rappers. So you can't have a go at Nicki for having fans who supported her, y'all were just mad. Anyways, moving on. The thing that I find most strange is the people who dislike Nicki Minaj will always claim that she was the only one out. But firstly, that's false, and secondly, if you feel that way, then you should be mad at the labels. The labels weren't going around signing female rappers because they were too busy trying to find girls who would go at Nicki. So, if you're looking for anyone to blame for the lack of female rappers, then you need to blame the labels. They were just too busy worrying about Nicki instead of just signing a bunch of dope female rappers. But as I said, y'all mad at Nicki when y'all need to take it out on the labels. Because they weren't signing anyone unless they were going to diss her. Now let's get into it and let's talk about some of the female rappers that have come out and said they were offered a deal if they dissed Nicki.
Liz, is it actually true that you got offered $250K to write a diss track for Nicki and you turned it down?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Genuinely, that's what happened. And that just came from me doing a cover of Look At Me Now, you know, Busta Rhymes. It went on World Star, and then like Atlantic Records was trying to reach out. Fast forward, I'm sitting down in front of this guy with my manager at the time, and he's just like, yeah, we basically want you to do a diss track. And I just knew something wasn't right, but yeah, I'm glad I didn't, because fast forward, then Nicki invited me to her tour.
I got that when I sat down with Atlantic Records. They didn't specifically say it, but their words were, "We want you to compete." And it just happened to be with Nicki Minaj, she says. Although she stresses that she doesn't want people to take that experience out of context. I didn't turn them down just because of that, but I definitely turned them down because their deal was shitty. So Lady Leisure and Cupcake both came forward and said that they were approached by a label. And it's really sad because both ladies are very underrated and talented. So the fact that they were only approached to be asked to diss another female rapper is sad. Leisure said herself, "Why would I take the deal when you don't want me for my talent, you just want me to go at another female rapper?" And Cupcake of course said a similar thing, "The deal was shitty." Next I wanna speak on Angel Hayes, who hasn't said she was offered anything, but she did tweet this in 2017. "I think female rappers should do shit the same way male rappers do it. Everybody for everybody. You rarely ever see two females in the same pic. If the collabs don't come into fruition, don't you wonder why? You know how many times people have asked me to go at Nicki's head." She said people have asked her to go at Nicki, but when she says people, who is she referring to? Is it fans, people around her, or a label? Probably all three. But once again, this is another female rapper that has come forward and said people wanted her to go at Nicki.
I didn't know that.
Lastly, we have Iggy Azalea. Now I can't find the article, but I do remember reading something. Iggy revealed that when she started out in the industry before she signed to a major label, she was getting a lot of offers from other labels, but certain deals didn't sit right with her. She didn't say why, but when you think about it, it most likely was that they wanted her to go at Nicki, and I 100% believe that's what it was. In 2019, Iggy decided to go independent because she was tired of how messed up the industry is. She's always been very open about her experience in the industry, but I definitely believe that when she said that a deal didn't sit right with her was because it involved Nicki. And I know a lot of people like to say that Iggy Azalea was only signed to get rid of Nicki, but I completely disagree with that. Iggy has always kept herself to herself and minds her own business, even when she was on top. She never spoke badly about Nicki, she never was shady, she just stayed in her own lane. And I think what bothers people is that Iggy really didn't feed into anything that people were trying to create. Throughout 2014 and 2015, people were trying to make Iggy and Nicki feud, but Iggy just paid it dust. You have to also remember that Iggy left Australia at 16 to pursue a career in rap. I don't think she would take that massive risk to only take a deal that involved dissing or trying to ruin someone else's career. Say what you want about Iggy, but she's always been a real one. So I don't think she was signed to get rid of Nicki, there's just no proof. At the end of the day, it's very clear that labels were trying to find female rappers that were willing to go at Nicki. However, it backfired. Nicki is too big of an artist to go at, and as I said earlier, look what happened to Remy Ma. She gambled her career and lost, meanwhile Nicki is still here. Anyways, let me know what y'all think about this, like and subscribe, and I'll be back.
I'm just saying, it's a mess. Yeah, man. Listen, I had no idea that Angel Hayes was offered. Or not even offered, I should say. I think the tweet said something about people have to, she didn't specify, but she said people have been telling me to go at Nicki. And it's like, what people are you referring to? I knew about the Cupcake and the Lady LaShore situation. That it's just, it's again, I do think that there are girls who are offered to diss Nicki through a label. They just not saying nothing. They just not gonna say, they're just gonna keep quiet. But I do think conversations were had with certain female rappers. I'm not gonna say the female rappers, but I do believe some of them were offered and said, nah, like, that's not gonna fly. They just keeping quiet for right now. That was a cute little video. If you stay to the end of this video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you know when I drop another video, and I will see you guys later. Bye.
Done it all, been through it all. I walked over the motherfucking fire with sandals. Gonna burn your feet eventually. Mic check.